Hello everyone, welcome to Northron Bricks. Today I will be showcasing my LEGO Transformers Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. So this is my first video on this channel. I've been kind of taking a break from LEGO for about 3 years now, but I have decided to come back and start with this character here. So this is Optimus Prime from his later look in the last 2 movies. And then of course this is the mode where he takes on a Western Star 5700 XE truck mode. So this model is comprised of about 980 pieces for the actual robot, and then the weapons are a couple hundred pieces too, which I will showcase later on. But starting off with the truck mode, this is him in that Western Star truck mode here. It's pretty good. I'm happy with it overall. Obviously you can tell it transforms. You'll get that with pretty much any Bayformer. These few transformation joints throughout, and then obviously here on the back there's quite a bit of hinges and everything, but overall I'm very happy with the look of it. I got pretty much all the details down. They're missing a few things, but one part I really wanted to focus on and get right was the front grille. I feel like this is kind of the most iconic piece of his truck mode. So I got the front part with these newer wedge plates or wedge slopes. They kind of help create that curve of the front, and then that blue line is running down the center, which was important to get. Up here on the front we got kind of the flame detail, just a bunch of red and blue pieces mixed together, but I think it works out well. And then of course, up here got the windshield, these visors here. The doors actually open, which is kind of fun. Not that there's any room in there for anything, but you can open those up if you'd like. Side profile, I don't really have a turntable yet, so bear with me there, but this back portion of it might be a little bit thin, but that's alright. But overall, yeah. And there's the top. Very clean from the top. I was happy about that. Not really any hinges or anything that's too noticeable up here, which is good. So there we go. He doesn't roll very well, unfortunately. His back wheel has kind of trouble touching the ground, and then his front wheel tends to catch. But other than not rolling, he's a pretty good truck here. And then one more thing I will show on this is the underside. This is always kind of fun with transforming models, because you can see everything that's going on the bottom. So if you're familiar with this transformation, you can kind of see what's going on here. Yeah. So that is truck mode, and just a few size comparisons here. Starting off, this is a Speed Champions car here. So this scale doesn't really match up. Optimus Prime is kind of too small, or I think these cars are just kind of too big, but here you can definitely see the difference between a transforming model and a non-transforming one. These tend to get pretty messy, but that is that. Then second comparison I have for you is 2007 movie Jazz. So this is him in car mode. I don't have a video for this one yet, but I definitely will make that in the future. But just looking here, I think these look pretty good together. And then last comparison, of course, is a minifigure. So here you can kind of see how those look together. I think the scale is actually pretty close. This looks quite good, and you can pop this guy in a city. People will definitely know that he transforms, but that's alright. So that is pretty much it here for truck mode, so I'd say we can get into the transformation. here we have Optimus Prime in his robot mode. I think this mode looks great. Yeah, just taking a look around, you can see actual transformation time takes about 25 minutes. That time lapse there was about a minute in total, but as you can see, for that time you get a very nice looking robot. Closer look at the details here. You can kind of see his front of the truck actually becomes the chest. The tires hide away very nicely. This robot design actually has no tires whatsoever. So these ones kind of tuck up under here. They're still visible, but you know, obviously they're not the first thing you notice, so I think that's okay. And then the other two, as you saw, actually end up on the bottom of his feet. So completely hidden there. They also provide a little bit of traction with the rubber, which is nice. And then you can kind of see them as like the rocket boosters that he has on the bottom of his feet. So the legs turned out very nice, kind of a little bit messy, but just kind of where all these panels ended up. I'm very glad I got this angle here with these ones. Got the skirts and everything. The arms are pretty simple. They're probably a little too simple just looking at the color here, but they get those panels all folded up nicely. So the windshield actually becomes the shoulder armor, and then of course looking at the side profile, you know, it's very, very thin, not a very big backpack at all. Really no kibble or anything, which is optimal. So coming up to the head here, this was actually a pretty late design. I actually had ordered the parts already before I got the head done. So it uses cleaver pieces for the side of the mask, which I think works out well, gives good depth to the face. And then that's actually a blue droid arm, translucent blue for the eyes. So I think the original head that I had given him was way too small. So the one drawback with this robot mode is if you look down at his feet here, he's very wobbly, and he can be hard to stand. It takes a little bit of balancing, but once he is balanced, he's pretty solid and he shouldn't fall over. But I'll go over a little bit of articulation here as well. That is also kind of a drawback of this mode is when you get to the legs here, he does have that full hip, but the knee only has about that much. So pretty minimal there. There is a bit of ankle rotation and articulation there, but again, it's pretty limited by the fact of how heavy he is. So technically there, but he'll fall over before you get to use it. Full waist swivel, which is nice. So, you know, full 360 on the waist. And then I don't know if I showed the back yet. The gas tanks actually end up on the back, which of the legs, which I think works out well. Hides those away. And come up there at the back. The smokestacks end up where they should. You can kind of angle them, and if you want to simulate where he gets kind of bent out of shape during battle, you can do that too. Doors end up back there, but overall, yeah, very, very minimal on the backpack. The rotation here, he's got a very good range of motion in his arms, so most of the posing is done with his arms here. But yeah, full bend here, and of course articulated hand. I've used this hand design a lot before and it works really well. And then for his head, in the basic rotate, he can look up to some extent, down pretty well too. But yeah, overall very, very happy with his robot mode. This is definitely how I will be displaying him once you can get him to stand up. For a few size comparisons, here he is next to a minifigure. So I think it's pretty good there. Pretty close to the movies as far as I can tell. Here he is next to that car from earlier, so, you know, definitely worth the messy truck look for transforming. Next thing I will show is Optimus Prime compared to Optimus Prime. So this is a work in progress I have right now. He's actually fully designed, it's just getting the parts in, but this is Optimus from the first 3 movies, so it's kind of a fun comparison here. It'll be cool to see these guys together once they're all complete. Then there are, of course, some weapons here, so I'll kind of go over them one by one, and then I'll show you what they look like with him. But first one, here's the sword. This one kind of uses the legal technique at the end, but kind of had to get that interesting shape there. But that is the sword, and so with the sword we do have the shield as well. This one, pretty simple build. I actually built these after I'd ordered the parts, so I was a little bit limited, but that is the shield. I think it looks pretty good though. Next one here is his gun. This is that shotgun that he uses, the triple barrels and everything. Then the last one is his Energon sword that he uses briefly, and I wish he would have used more because it's cool. So to put these in, start with the gun. So this just clips right into this T-joint on his hand. Then he can wield that, and he looks pretty good. So, and yeah, lots of good range of motion. There's some better pictures up on my Instagram with a little bit better lighting and everything. But the second one, this Energon's sword, just clips right onto his hand. And this is honestly my favorite look for him personally. I love the way the sword comes out of his arm, and he looks pretty cool with that. And lastly, his sword clips in the same way as the gun, just using this T connector. See, looks pretty good with this. It is a little bit big, but I focused on the shaping of it more than the accuracy and size. And then for the actual shield, that just, you have to rotate this part out, and then that. And then yeah, there's the sword and shield look. So that is all for this look at Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to North Run Bricks for more cool mocks in the future.